please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. You're watching Chartbusters on CNBC TV18. Well, markets are holding in the green, but I think we can move on then. In fact, get chatting with the management of JSPL. That's the stock on our radar after it reported its third quarter earnings. Mr. Ansari, the CEO of the steel business at JSPL, joins us now. Hi, Mr. Ansari. Thanks so much for joining in, sir, and congratulations on a good past quarter. First things first, what was the EBITDA per ton for your domestic steel business in the past quarter? Can you give us some kind of a guidance going ahead?
If you look at our EBITDA per ton in the past quarters, you will find that it is somewhere around 9,200 to 10,000 rupees per ton kind of a number which are there, depending on the kind of product mix which are there and depending on the market situation. And you know, we continue working on that. As regards future, as of now, you know, everything depends on what the market is, and you know, there are lots of issues which will be there in terms of the market situation and so on. So really giving any number for future will not be feasible at this point of time. But all we can tell you that we are working very hard as a group to make sure that our costs are contained. We continue working well, and whatever we are doing, we will try and continue improving it further.
Okay, fair point there, Mr. Ansari, but how exactly are the capacity utilization levels? How is it ramping up in your Angul unit?
So as you are aware, we commissioned the BOF on, we started actually the BOF on 26th of December, and that process of debugging and ramping up is continuing. Right now we are exactly in the same situation. That means some shifts we are doing reasonably well, and in the other shifts we are doing the debugging. This process will continue for a little more time. But what we are already seeing is that in some shifts, for example, we have already made up to 8 heats to 10 heats, and then we see how it really goes forward. But as of now, this process of debugging and ramping up is going on.
Okay, debugging and ramping up. In that case, what exactly is your FY18 targeted sales volumes, both in India and Oman?
So, as I told you that we have already commissioned the BOF. The important thing is that once BOF is commissioned, and we do expect to ramp up, and the production obviously normally should go up, everything else working in the way that we expect. And once that happens, obviously the production will go up, the sales will go up. But right now, giving those numbers for future, I think we would at the moment avoid giving any numbers for the future, simply because we really want to make sure that things move as per as what we have internally planned, and we'll continue working on it. But for the moment, we will not be able to give you any specific numbers for FY19.
Mr. Ansari, I have to quiz you on that point. Earlier, you had guided for around 5 million tons of sales volumes in India. You also told us approximately 1.6, 1.7 million tons in Oman. Do these numbers hold now?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is our capacity now that the BOF plant has been started, our capacity in Angul is already for 5 million ton. That's the kind of number that we are talking about. The number is already there. And so therefore, this combined with Raigad capacity gives us a possibility to produce much more than what we have been producing earlier. And therefore, we should be able to do much more than that. But right now, we are not hazarding any numbers as of now for future. That's the only thing I can tell you. And as far as Oman is concerned, it is also continuing in the same way. We continue improving the performance quarter by quarter, quarter on quarter till last quarter. We have already done that, and we would continue working in the same way, and we will be hoping that everything else working together, we should be able to improve.
All right, just hold on for a second, Mr. Ansari. We're getting live visuals coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. That's President Kovind. He is making his way towards the Parliament ahead of the budget session. Just a few minutes back, we had the Prime Minister addressing the nation and addressing all the parliamentarians to support the government during the budget session. Day after tomorrow, or rather 2 days after tomorrow, Feb 1st, is the union budget, and today is the economics survey, which will be revealed. A couple of just a week ago, in fact last Saturday, I think, was the budget halwa ceremony, and now the budget session starts. We will get you more details as and when we get the visuals. But let's get back to our chat with Mr. Ansari. Let's talk about your power business now, Mr. Ansari. Your PLFs, they're at 40% levels. Will this pick up, and can we see some more signing of power purchase agreements?
You know that the efforts for signing more PPAs will continue on and on and on, and we hope to do that. Right now there is nothing very specific that I can tell you that we are going to sign this specific PPA. The effort is on, and of course the other issue which for the power businesses, the availability of coal. So no, that is another struggle which we continue with. We only hope that going forward, things should improve as far as coal availability is concerned. But this will totally depend on again what the situation is in terms of coal supply. So we will have to watch out for that. And as far as PPA is concerned, as I told you, we continue striving for signing more and more. But right now, there is nothing specific I can tell you.
Well, Mr. Ansari, since we're talking about your power business, is the deal to sign some of your power assets with JSW Energy on? JSW believes that in fact there is some kind of glitch, but JSPL has always been saying the deal to sell that 1000 megawatt Tamnar 1 plant by June 2018 is on. Your take on that, sir? Is it on?
So as you know, the final date is June 2018. And we are still very hopeful. We are still continue working on that. But obviously there are factors in the power sector which we may or may not be able to control. So we will see that. But we are still continuing based on the hope that we should be able to do something by that long stop date.
Right. Mr. Ansari, Mr. Naveen Jindal, he spoke to us here on CNBC TV18 earlier, just about a month ago, I remember. He spoke about some value unlocking. So in that case, could you go ahead and give us the timeline for the listing of the Aman business? Then there was the QIP. How much more money can be unlocked from there?
So right now, I'm really not able to comment on these issues of both monetization of Oman as well as the other subject of QIP. At the moment, we are not in a position to make any comment at all on that. I know you're referring to a statement made earlier by chairman, and but right now, all that I'm really trying to tell you is that we are not in a position to comment at all on this.
Okay, Mr. Ansari, let's talk about your debt then. What about the current debt in your books? Has the situation changed post the banks upgrading the account to standard?
Yes, as you are aware that we are fully current. I mean, till last quarter we have been fully current, and all our accounts are absolutely standard. So we have been repaying we are making the repayment as well as the interest payment. So we are doing exactly, and therefore, accordingly, the plans which we have already agreed with the banks, we are following the same plans. So by doing that, we are very hopeful that we will be able to, continue in the same vein, and hopefully, assuming that the market remains what it is, and assuming that the financial situation remains, we should be able to meet all our commitments which we have made to the banks.
Okay. So what's your current borrowing cost, if I may ask you, Mr. Ansari?
Okay, so the current borrowing cost, till about last quarter, approximately was close to about 8 to 9% kind of a number which was there, and as we told you that we are not really planning to increase our debt level, so therefore that's the kind of number as of now which exists.
Okay, all right, then thanks so much, Mr. Ansari, for joining in fact giving us all those details. That we have our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the screen. We'll try to cut across and get you more details on that. Remember, you just addressed us at the start of the show as well, hoping to give out a good budget 2018.
This is Chartbusters, and as we see, it is the President's cavalcade reaching the Parliament House. We had earlier alluded to the fact that they had left from Rashtrapati Bhavan. Today, the President will address both the lower and the upper houses. of the Parliament. It's his first joint address to both houses after being the President. Remember, it's the budget session which begins. We have the Union budget on Feb 1st, but it's not just the budget. We'll also watch out for some other important bills, the likes of Commission of the Backward Classes and the Triple Talaq bill that the Prime Minister was alluding to. So overall, an important session. We'll watch out for that. But let's get back to our markets. Some earnings. We have Sagar Cements, what looked like a weak operational set. To detail them a little more, we have Shrikant Reddy, the ED of the company, joining in. Thanks a lot, Mr. Reddy, for joining in. First up, if you could give us a couple of details. We understand that your realizations in the last quarter were down about 10%. Have those cement prices increased in the last few days, and how much? Secondly, sales volumes, 2.6 million tons was your earlier guidance for this year. You've already done 1.92. Do you stick by that? Can we see an uptick on that front as well?
Yeah, good morning and thanks for having us on the television. First things first, our EBITDA per ton, currently what we are doing is around 587. Yeah, we hope to end the year close to 600. Yeah, because usually for the cement industry, Q1 and Q4 are the strong pricing as well as the volume quarters. Unfortunately, this time the price, which usually normally starts picking up from November, mid of November, it did not happen, and it only started end of December. Though the prices have gone up from last quarter to currently by almost 150 rupees per ton on an average. Oh. Yeah, we hope it gets sustained.
All right, so 150 rupees per ton, sir, is the change in comparison to quarter 3 FY18's realizations. Is that right?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
All right, but that's not a big increase. Are you hopeful that prices will increase further from here? You've already given us clarity on the EBITDA per ton. What about sales volumes? What can they look like for FY18, and what kind of a target you have set out for FY19?
Yeah, we have indicated that we should do 2.6 million for FY18. I think we should achieve that.
Okay.
Our target for FY19 is at slightly more than 3 million ton.
All right, slightly more than 3 million tons. All right. You also said about 580 per ton is your EBITDA. You expect to close the year with 600 per ton EBITDA. Mr. Reddy, if you could tell us, there were a lot of cost-cutting measures that you've taken, some like the waste heat recovery, captive power. What was the total amount that you spent on that, and what kind of savings in terms of per ton EBITDA do you expect coming in from these measures that you've taken?
Yeah, we have implemented the waste heat recovery. It got commissioned middle of the current financial year. We have spent close to 70 crores for a 6.5 megawatt waste heat recovery system. Yeah, we hope to get a saving of anywhere between 4.5 to 5 crores per quarter. It approximately translates to 125 to 150 rupees per ton.
Okay.
Yeah, we are also doing a captive power plant, an 18 megawatt captive power plant, which is under implementation, for which we are spending close to 100 crores, which we hope to commission by March 2019.
Okay, so FY19, your EBITDA should go up by more than 100 rupees on the back of this?
From a cost side, yes.
So 700 rupees per ton of EBITDA can we look at for FY19?
Yeah, if prices realizations match, I think we should comfortably do that.
Okay, all right, Mr. Reddy. Thanks so much for stopping by, sir, and giving us all those details. Looking forward to speaking to you more often in future as well. Well, on that note, we'll wrap up on Chartbusters. You stay tuned. Trading Hour comes up next.